Did Jason honestly think he could look Carly in the eye, physically back her into a corner, and not face the absolute unbridled wrath of her fiercely protective daughter? The door is officially slammed shut on Jason's peaceful return, and we are staring down the barrel of a jaw-dropping twist that absolutely no one saw coming. Right now, our beloved characters are drowning in a state of sheer, unadulterated chaos. Carly has barely caught her breath after surviving that terrifying hostage situation at the dark and dreary island estate. We all watched in horror as she was crawling on the floor, desperately fighting for her life against Ross, all while trying to save Josslyn from a grim fate. Meanwhile, Josslyn has been playing an incredibly dangerous game with Z, making secret deals behind everyone's back to secure freedom for Jason and Valentine. And then we have Jason himself, who just returned home, visibly traumatized and profoundly changed by his grueling captivity, desperately trying to leave the dangerous mob life behind so he can finally be a good father to Danny. Everyone is completely on edge, and the tension in town is so incredibly thick that you could cut it with a knife. If you ask me, the very idea of Jason turning his back on Carly is a bombshell that threatens to completely rewrite decades of television history. For those of us who have watched this show for years, we know deep in our souls that Jason and Carly are the ultimate, unbreakable duo. Jason has always, without fail, put Carly first, no matter the personal cost. He sacrificed his own happiness time and time again, even walking away from a beautiful, passionate romance with Britt when they were on the run, just to ensure Carly remained safe. He has taken bullets, gone to prison, and surrendered his own freedom repeatedly for her. So, the mere thought of him suddenly becoming the vicious villain in her story is enough to wreak devastation on our hearts and leave us questioning everything we thought we knew. Picture this intense scene, guys. Jason storms into the room, his eyes dark, cold, and completely unreadable. He lunges toward Carly, shouting aggressively, and physically backs her against a wall, trapping her. Josslyn is standing right there, watching in absolute paralyzed horror as the man who has fiercely protected her mother for her entire life suddenly looks like he wants to destroy her. Jason starts ranting, acting completely unhinged, spewing threats and demanding that everyone back off and leave him alone. It is a terrifying, jaw-dropping twist that will leave you gasping for air, wondering if his captivity finally broke his mind. But that's not even the craziest part. The absolute truth is, this entire horrifying confrontation is a carefully orchestrated, brilliant fake-out. Yes, you heard me right, my friends. Jason has not lost his mind, and he certainly has not betrayed his best friend. If you ask me, this is a desperate, last-ditch master plan cooked up by none other than Carly herself. Charlie is currently at her absolute breaking point. She has tried everything in her earthly power to force Josslyn to quit her dangerous new career as a spy. She begged, she pleaded from her hospital bed, tearfully reminding Josslyn that she has already lost one child to violence and absolutely cannot survive the heartbreak of losing another. Carly even went as far as threatening to expose Josslyn's secret spy status to all their friends and family, hoping the sheer peer pressure and public scrutiny would force her daughter to walk away from Z and his shadowy organization. But Josslyn is incredibly stubborn. She is her mother's daughter, through and through, and she flat out refused to back down, believing she is invincible. When all traditional methods failed, Carly realized she needed to bring out the big guns. She needed someone who truly understands the lethal, unforgiving reality of the spy world. She needed Jason, the one man who could properly demonstrate the true horrors of that life. Jason knows firsthand just how evil, manipulative, and soul-crushing that specific agency can be. His recent captivity under their thumb changed him profoundly, stripping away any illusions he might have had. He no longer sees them as a righteous intelligence agency protecting the world. He sees them as a corrupt, ruthless syndicate that uses innocent people as disposable pawns until they are dead or broken. When Carly came to him, begging for his help to save Josslyn from a lifetime of misery and eventual death, Jason agreed to play the bad guy. He agreed to stage this violent, terrifying fight to scare Josslyn straight. But that's not even the craziest part. Jason leans into the role of the dangerous villain with everything he has, delivering an Oscar-worthy performance of pure rage. During this staged attack on Carly, he starts exposing a long-buried secret about his former captor. He yells about their dark, illegal operations, the psychological torture, the mind games, and the absolute lack of morality that governs their every move. He wants Josslyn to hear straight from the mouth of a man who barely survived it. exactly what kind of monster she is working for. He hopes that by acting like a dangerous, broken rogue agent, Josslyn will finally realize that the spy life only leads to severe trauma, isolation, and total destruction. However, Carly and Jason made one massive, catastrophic miscalculation in their brilliant plan. They fully expected Josslyn to cower in fear, to finally realize the overwhelming danger, and to run away from her new boss forever. But they completely forgot who they were dealing with. Josslyn is fiercely loyal, incredibly brave, and highly trained. When she sees Jason seemingly attacking her vulnerable mother, she does not freeze in terror. She does not run away crying. Instead, she charges forward. Josslyn lunges at Jason with everything she has, utilizing the very lethal combat skills she recently learned, absolutely determined to take him down and save Carly. This unexpected reaction puts Jason in an absolutely impossible, heartbreaking position. He is suddenly engaged in a physical, violent struggle with Josslyn, the young woman he has loved and protected since she was a baby. If he fights back too hard, he risks genuinely injuring her, something he would never ever forgive himself for. If he drops the act and tells her the truth, the entire plan completely falls apart and Josslyn goes right back into the highly dangerous arms of Z. He has to simply stand there, absorbing Josslyn's furious, hateful blows, letting her despise him, all while Carly watches her daughter's heart break in real time. It is a tragic, emotional mess. But that's not even the craziest part. While this intense fake family feud is violently playing out in the living room, they are completely unaware that they are not alone. Unbeknownst to Jason, Carly, and Josslyn, there is a highly trained, lethal agent lurking in the shadows outside, secretly watching and listening to the entire altercation unfold. Z is not a man who lets his valuable assets operate without strict supervision, and he certainly has eyes on Josslyn and anyone connected to her at all times. This hidden agent hears every single word Jason is screaming, documenting every threat and every exposed secret. The lurking agent hears Jason exposing highly classified, top-secret operations and turning completely rogue against the agency. They see a man who was supposed to be neutralized, acting like an unpredictable, explosive threat who is actively trying to turn their newest star recruit against them. In the eyes of Z and his superiors, Jason is no longer just a former captive who was quietly released. He is a massive liability, a dangerous traitor, and a threat that must be eliminated immediately. The agent urgently reports back to headquarters, and just like that, Jason is placed at the very top of their international kill list. What started as a desperate, theatrical performance to save Josslyn's soul has now morphed into a very real, incredibly deadly war. Jason is now actively being hunted by the most powerful, ruthless intelligence agency in the entire world. He will have to use every single ounce of his lethal training and street smarts just to survive the week. And ironically, this terrifying turn of events is the ultimate, undeniable proof of his unwavering loyalty to Carly. He didn't just pretend to be a monster for her, he literally painted a giant, glowing target on his own back and sacrificed his hard-won freedom to ensure her daughter's safety. Now, the stakes are higher and more terrifying than ever before. Jason is fighting a brutal war on two separate fronts, desperately dodging highly trained assassins in the shadows while trying to keep up the hateful charade for Josslyn in the light. Will Josslyn realize the heartbreaking truth of his sacrifice before it is entirely too late, or will she unknowingly help her new bosses take down the very man who is giving up everything to save her life? Lock your doors, grab your tissues, and keep your eyes peeled, guys, because Port Charles is about to absolutely explode, and the collateral damage is going to be nothing short of devastating.